Welcome to the very first session of Couch Talks with Tori. This is something new that I'm going to be doing for all of my patrons on Patreon, where I discuss some topics, some issues that I see, particularly within the tarot community. Specifically like for the watchers and the clients that are watching different tarot content. And so I put those discussions up on here, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts afterwards. So without further ado, we're going to get started with the first topic. I've got my tea and we're ready to go. So first topic I got up, it's something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. The way I titled this video is kind of misleading, but I want to talk about why love readings suck. Not love readings in general, is strictly my opinion as to why love readings are just so. It frustrates me, you guys, and I'll tell you why here in a second. So, I mean, obviously, our interpersonal relationships, our relationships with our family, our friends, and romantic relationships have this tendency to teach us those lessons in life that we learn from, that we grow from, no matter how painful they may be, or they could be even just the best things, and things seem to just fall apart, and it is the falling apart and the pulling away and the detaching that sometimes feels like it's breaking us, but in reality it's not. It's just teaching us another lesson. But why I think love reading sucks. So you see tarot readers a lot. They gain a huge amount of followers, and kudos to them. They've put in the work, they put in their time. This is what they do, this is how they make a living, etc. And I completely understand that, being a tarot reader myself. But I have noticed a trend of, and I won't say preying on, the innocent or the unknowing, but I've noticed an uptick in a huge trend of focus only on romantic love relationships. And here, I'm just going to read off some things that I tend to find in certain readings that I happen to come across. So if you watch you pick a reader, any reader on YouTube, right? If you watch a basic love reading on YouTube, most of these readings are tailored around what I like to call unrealistic expectations of other people. What does that mean? You get a tarot reader, right? You see a title that just kind of like captures your attention, like, this kind of sounds like my situation. As you're watching the tarot reader, all of a sudden the cards that they're pulling out, they're describing that the person that you're involved with, they're describing the feelings that you feel, they're describing the situation almost to a T. Like, that's what we call resonating. So it's resonating with you, right? But then they kind of leave you hanging with no, because you want to know, how do I make this better, and how do I make this work, or what's going to happen next? And you have this unrealistic expectation of everyone involved, including the tarot reader. So you have this unrealistic expectation that, one, your tarot reader knows exactly what's going to happen. They know the end result. I'm here to tell you right now that is false. Here's why. We are human beings gifted with free will. Every day, our minds are growing, our souls are growing, our hearts are growing. Our decisions change and can change at any minute. With those changing of the decisions, it can change certain specific outcomes of any point in time in your future and the paths that you go on. So no, I'm sorry, but me as a tarot reader, I don't know your future. I don't know everything. I only know the energies that are currently present in your current situation, in your life, and me specifically because I channel with the spirit guides and the ancestors of, well, my spirit guides and ancestors, and I also channel the spirit guides of other people to give them that higher wisdom that for whatever reason they're not able to tune into because they've turned that switch off or they don't know how to turn that switch on yet. That is why I am here. Eventually, you are not going to need me, and that is the goal. That is the whole reason why I created Patreon. Anyway, moving on. So you have an unrealistic expectation of the person doing your reading. You also have an unrealistic expectation of your situation. For example, if your current situation is you and old girl are not talking, or you and old boy are not talking, there's no back and forth on social media of any kind, no DMs and Snapchat or IG. You know, you may do a little creeping now and then on a story, but otherwise you're not responding or sending anything. How can you expect that person to, A, communicate with you and move things along when you don't put in that effort? You get where I'm going with this? There's a lot of readers out there like, oh, they're going to contact you, you're going to contact you, and then you're sitting there like, okay, it's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, it's going to happen this time. Okay, it's going to happen this time. And you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. And because you're so focused on, well, this is what they said would happen, you're not allowing things to develop as they would. You're not thinking about, well, if I have free will, this individual has free will. So at the current time you're getting your love reading, yeah, maybe you will get that communication. Maybe that communication will come in within a certain time frame. But if they decide to change their minds because there hasn't been any communication, why would they hit you up? Are you following? Okay, we're going to continue on. Another example of unrealistic expectations of others. And this is why, okay, so I'm trying not to go off on a tangent. I'm not going to talk about twin flames in this video. However, I would like to bring up that the twin flame narrative is trash. I said it. You can come for me. I don't care. It's trash. Here's why it's trash. Because this twin flame narrative is so dangerous. It has deceived people into, one, not thinking for themselves. And with that comes with staying in abusive or toxic relationships. I'm probably going to cuss during our couch sessions because this is just me chilling. I'm inviting you into my home and we're inviting each other into each other's spaces. You got it. I'm chilling. I'm not Tori today. I'm Tori today. So you have these unrealistic expectations like it's going to get better. I'm in a toxic relationship, but it's going to get better. The other person's going to change. You need to, I encourage anyone, I've been in an abusive relationship before. It's rough. Do not stay with someone that you know is no good for you. Don't stay with anyone that you know y'all just don't click. That the energies don't match, that it's a fight over everything. You don't know why, and they're triggering something within you. Just, you gotta let it go. So if your current situation is you're being emotionally abused, you hear things like, for example, somebody's yelling at you and it's just like, well, you know, you're trying to defend yourself. And I was like, well, I don't understand why you're yelling at me. I'm not even yelling at you. It's clearly narcissistic behavior. Or even things as small as just, you know, oh, things have been going well. And then all of a sudden it's just like your partner's not talking to you. You don't know why. And a tarot reader is like, oh, you guys are meant to be together. This is a soulmate connection and blah, 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 blah. And all you focus on are the words soulmate and connection. And it's just like, we're going to be together forever. And this is what this person says. Again, no. Unrealistic expectation. You need to take an honest look at your current situation. with love readings. You need to look at your current situation. Do not try to take what the reader is saying and apply it to your situation, because you will go crazy. I promise you, you will go crazy. All right, so moving on. Here's why I also have an issue with love readings. Again, this is not pertaining to all tarot readers. This is just for a few that I have come across. No, I won't tell you who they are, because you will not learn how to discern for yourself if I tell you. Like, basically, you'll be so focused on, oh, I just don't need to listen to this individual. No, it doesn't matter who the individual is. You need to be able to separate and discern for yourself, regardless of who's giving you that message. Okay, moving on. Another reason why I have a hard time with some love readings from tarot readers is because they leave you hooked on the high of having your situation, one, known by some mystic stranger, i.e. me or another tarot reader. And so you unknowingly arrive to this conclusion of, like what we talked about earlier, that they have to know the end result. And you become obsessed and attached to the end result and not about the journey. So in other words, a tarot reader is describing your situation and there's like a rush to your brain, like, oh my God, I can't believe they know this. They must know everything. But I want to get to the end result. We're going to be together forever, right? Things are going to work out, right? Oh my God, are we going to break up? I need to know right now. And you don't focus on the journey that you're supposed to be on. So if you didn't know, and I learned this on my own journey as well, you have more than one soulmate. Soulmates, as described by, companies that rhyme with this knee, for example. I'm not trying not to let the algorithm boot me out. They're in the media, in our storybooks, growing up as children, we have this idea that there's only one person out there for us, and it has to be a romantic connection. And then that's it. Like, if you don't find this one person, like, there's no other way. You can be happy, that you can be successful, whatever the case may be. And I'm here to tell you that that is so false. Your soulmate could be a family member. It could be your sister. It could be your brother. It could be your mom. It could be your dad, an uncle, a grandparent. Your soulmate can be a friend. Just a friend. It could be a friend of the same sex or a different gender. It doesn't matter. Your soulmate could even be a work partner, and it's just strictly work, and for whatever reason y'all click, and it doesn't have to be romantic, and y'all are it just works that way. So a soulmate connection is, in the best way that I can describe it, it is your soul in a previous lifetime, perhaps made really deep connections, but on very different levels that didn't necessarily have to be romantic. And each connection serves a purpose, and that purpose is to support your growth or to help support their growth. Either way, there's always a reason or a feeling you get, no matter what kind of connection it is. A friend, could be a friend group. You always hear soul family. That is what we mean by soul family. Those are other soulmates that you are connecting with. Doesn't have to be romantic. Does not have to be romantic. And so, going back to the romantic soulmate, you get so focused on what the end result's going to be and not about the journey that you're on. The journey that you're on is to learn certain lessons. And as we complete them, unfortunately, yes, we may lose communication and lose certain people from our lives, but that's not to say that you lose them because you have a falling out. No, it's just you lose them because it's time, because it's natural, because it's time to grow. And it's the same thing with romantic partners that you come into, that you come into contact with, not everybody that you meet romantically is meant to be there forever with you. Um, Otherwise we would be immortal. But even romantic connections can teach us lessons. And it's not always about, oh, we didn't end up together, or we were supposed to be together forever and it just didn't work out. That's not what it was about. What did you learn? Going back to those relationships, even the ones that hurt, what did you learn? What is it that you know now that you didn't know back then? What about you has changed? What did those relationships highlight about your own personal traumas before the relationship? That you realize that, oh my God, I probably need to heal this. I didn't realize I had an issue with this. Focus on the journey, not the result. That's why sometimes I hate the love readings, because, and it depends on the reader. It actually depends on the person who's watching it, but people get so focused on waiting for the end result that they don't focus on the journey. So anytime you watch a love reading now, I challenge you to listen for the journey. If the journey, and like I said, be honest with yourself. If the journey that's being read to you is actually your current situation, listen for those, your spirit guides are trying to tell you to, you need to grow here, or you need to step out of your pride, or you need to take a step back, or this situation's not good for you, you need to leave it. Listen for those. Those are the ones that are reading for you, that are intuitive, rather than the ones that are like, oh, he's 6'5", he's got green eyes, or she's got, curves, and she's got a great career, but she kind of has like this mystery about her, and she looks like this, and they act like this, and but y'all have talked about this. Like, kind of be aware of the difference between the types of love readings that you'll get. So you get the ones that are intuitive, that are picking up on your situation, and you'll get the ones that are very basic. They kind of describe like maybe the person's appearance. They talk about, they describe what you've discussed in the past, how you've moved or interacted with each other, but they don't offer any kind of soul growth. Okay, so that is all I wanted to talk about with as it concerns love readings. With that being said, shameless plug, I actually do offer a type of love reading. It is not an actual love reading. What it is a love life pattern reading. And so the love life pattern reading that I offer on my website actually helps the client identify their patterns in relationships and provide insight to those unhealed parts of you that are affecting these decisions as they involve romantic relationships. So if you find yourself falling for a specific type, and the same type of guy or girl, and you don't really understand why, if all of your relationships within the past, 5-10 years have gone to shit, and you're like, I don't know why this keeps happening, chances are it's something that needs to be addressed in your soul growth, and it's not about the individual themselves. But again, it depends on the situation, but that's what this reading is about. So again, this is the love life pattern reading that I offer on my website. So if you want to go to clearingtheairtarot.com to book that reading, you absolutely may. I am open for bookings for the entire month of April. Happy birthday to all of my Aries out there. What else do I want to say? And thank you for watching. Obviously, I'm open to other readings, not just the love life reading. So if you find something that resonates with you, that you really want, you would like for me to read for you, I'm more than happy to do so. I appreciate you guys spending this time with me on my first ever couch talks with Tori. This was kind of fun, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this in general, or about the couch talks, and I would love to hear your feedback. All right, guys, have a great evening. Be safe, be well, and go with love.